So now I would like to request the next business speaker presentation, that is from ISG Group, United States of America, USA. Please, I request ISG to come on to the dais to present their business presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. With raise of your hands, tell me how many of you are engineers in the room? Good, thank you. So this week in the United States, we are celebrating our National Engineers Week. Of course, in India, we have the great legend, engineering specialist, Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya. So starting from him, we got a number of engineers that helped build our infrastructure, even though we have tough circumstances. So from USA, everybody that is engineer in the room, and also the people that are supporting the engineers, rest of the crew here, Happy Engineers Week. So I'm going to provide a brief overview of ISG. We are an engineering and architectural firm, basically located in the upper Midwest of United States. We are in 4 states, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and South Dakota. Can you go to the next slide, please? So we have 9 office locations. However, we do business in almost all the states, approximately 42 states in the United States, and we want to go into other countries as well. The main thing is we serve 12 different market sectors, which are on the left-hand side of the slide. If you look at those market sectors, I'm not going to go over each single one of them, but if you look at those market sectors, agriculture, public works, transportation, healthcare, all those things, water is going to touch every single one of them, one way or the other. And the conference team, water and waste management, like Mr. Frank Avila said, there is specialty waste, there's storm water, water, drinking water, wastewater. All those things, we are going to get some sort of waste from all those markets that we serve. So our team, ISG, what we focus on is develop relationships with our clients, partner with them, and develop innovative and sustainable solutions in the markets that we serve. So that is one single line of what we do. I'm not going to bore you. Please go to the next slide, please. So that is the geography that we serve currently. All the black states are where we are providing services right now. Go to the next slide. So as of any engineering consulting company, we do architecture, we do engineering, planning, environmental permitting and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to bore you with all those things. But I want to focus on 4 things that are really making a huge impact for us at ISG and also for the clients that we are serving. So those are the 4 things that I'm going to focus on. Go to the next slide, please. One is visualization. It's really catching the attention of a lot of private and public entities right now. What is visualization is you typically prepare drawings, right? Construction drawings, and then you give it to the contractor, and contractor is going to build whatever you put on the drawings, construction drawings. The visualization is basically before you actually construct something, you build a model on the computer, and I think all of you know virtual reality, right? So where you put the goggles, and then you kind of, like Xbox thing where you virtually walk through the building, or even if you are playing a game. So it's basically the same concept where before you actually build something, you can put the goggles, and then virtually you can walk through the construction or the building that you are building, whether it is a building or a dam or anything like that. So when we present this model to our clients, they can actually go through the process, and if there are some things that they don't like in the design, so they can actually mention those even before we finalize the design drawings. Okay? So we can go and modify them, and then they can go through the virtual reality again. So before you actually build something, you can actually imagine and experience that building or that project. So that is what catching a lot of people's attention in the United States right now, virtual reality, visualization. Go to the next slide, please. So second thing is 3D scanning. There is a tool that we have in our company. It's a 3D scanning machine. We can put that machine right in the middle of the room. Within 3 hours, it is going to measure every single detail in this room to the 10th of the millimeter. Okay? So the benefits of that are twofold. Number one, if there are old buildings, like Mr. Frank Avila said, there are some plants that are 70 years old, 80 years old in the United States. The as-built drawings or the as-constructed drawings may not be available from 80 years ago. So we can actually go in and set this tool. Within 3 hours, we can get the model of the building. And like I said, to the 10th of the millimeter. So we don't have to actually go or send people to measure what is the length of the pipe, where do we need to put the valve, and how far, and all those things. We can actually do all these things in 3 hours, and then we can transfer the data into AutoCAD or Revit or any kind of drawing model, and then build our drawings. That's number one. Number two is a lot of times, especially in the United States, there are some pipes and electrical wiring that we install before we sheetrock. Sheetrock is what we call, meaning before we finalize the wall. There are wires, electrical conduits, or water pipes, air ducts, and everything are behind the wall. So once you build those, you don't know where exactly you put these pipes, these conduits, and also these studs. So before you actually finish the wall, you can put this 3D scanning machine, and then you can measure all those things, and then you have the very good data where these ducts and conduits were installed. So it's going to reduce a lot of effort for engineers and the operators. That's the second one. So please go to the next slide. So third technology that is kind of catching a lot of people's attention is drones. Probably some of you might have heard, like Amazon is planning on delivering the food using drones. Those are the things. But at the same time, the same drones can be used in the construction projects as well. Construction projects are design projects, where let's say you have a 15 or 20 acre land that you want to survey before you actually design the project. It would be very difficult for somebody to go in and then survey the 20-acre land, right? And exactly know what is there. So where this drone technology is going to come into picture, where you can stand right here, and then with the remote control operation, you can send the drone camera, and then within minutes, you have the entire land surveyed. So that is the another technology that is kind of reducing a lot of efforts for the engineers. Go to the next slide, please. So this last one is close to my heart, water solutions. And at ISG, this is what we call water solutions. It's all one water. There is no drinking water, wastewater, water reuse. That's what we think. If in the long days, I think even when I started my career, there was 15 years ago, there was drinking water. There is a group for drinking water. There is a group for wastewater. There is a group for something else, stormwater. But nowadays, I don't think you can put these different waters in silos. You have to take them as one water, okay? Because a lot of, even this morning we were talking about how to clean a lake or how to provide wastewater treatment. Those are all good points, but one thing that we all need to keep in mind is we need to look at this water thing from a holistic view. It's all one water, So what we are doing on the drinking water side is going to impact the wastewater side, and what we are going to do on the water reuse side is going to impact the water footprint. And then it may be beneficial for us to look at this from a watershed point of view, meaning certain area. Okay, this is the catchment area. Let's say in this catchment area, how we are going to provide drinking water, wastewater, how we are going to capture storm water, and how we are going to provide all these things for our future generations. So that is the concept that we need to take into our minds. It's basically a paradigm shift from where we were and where we are going to go. So that's why we take it as a water solutions group, and then we provide all these services. And one other thing that I want to mention is, when we're talking about water or wastewater, think of them as a factory or an industry. Okay, it just doesn't treat water or it just doesn't treat wastewater. What it does is you are getting something. Let's say, like an industry, you are getting raw material, and then you're creating something like a product, and then you're sending something else out the door. In the same way, when we are talking about wastewater, let's say, is a raw material. You are basically capturing the nutrients from the wastewater, you are capturing the water for reuse or whatever, and also you are capturing energy from that wastewater, rather than just treating wastewater and disposing it. If you think of it as an industry or a factory, everything is going to come into picture, and then it makes more sense for us and also for the regulators to issue any kind of grant funds and things like that to construct these kind of projects. So that's all I have. I'll be here for the next 2 days. If you have any questions, we can discuss. Rather than boring you with what ISG does, I just wanted to share the 4 technologies that are kind of hot in our market where we are. Thank you.